Double like double up. Yeah. Double like double up. The money I color up. Double like double up. The money
Back at SEMA 2024, Milwaukee Tool in the Between Two Wrenches podcast. Phil and Cooper. We're still here. We got one done. They didn't kick us out. Feel really good about how we're setting the tone for the day.
Day two, still fresh.
Day two, and we're still fresh. No, excited to be here. Love always love coming to check out the Milwaukee Tool booth every time that we're here. It's like, you know, Pipeline is kind of its own entity. It exists in its own ethos. But coming here and you get to see all the enthusiasm about the tools that we get a chance to see a little earlier, and just people getting to put their hands on stuff. I mean, that's one of the coolest parts about the booth here.
And there's
SEMA.
really, I mean, the builds are awesome here at SEMA, but for the people that are walking these aisles, there's nothing cooler than cool tools. I mean, that's what people want to see.
How do you think those builds got done?
Exactly. Yep.
You don't just snap your fingers, do the thing with your nose.
Well, you do that a lot. But when you're ripping your hair out, that's why I'm bald. So you go to any lengths you can to try to figure out how to get these projects done. But
awesome. And speaking of getting products done, Zafir is here hanging out with us. SEMA Day 2, you still feeling pretty good about being above ground?
Yeah, I think so. You know, energized, refreshed, ready for a full day to hopefully walk the entire show floor. We're very
energized and refreshed. Sounds like a battery guy.
Yeah. No pun intended.
Do you have your own button on here that you're like, oh, need a little charge?
My fuel gauge ready to go.
I love it. I think you told me at one point how many miles it would be to walk.
So I had heard, and this was like years ago, but this was before the West Hall. But like if you walked every aisle, it was like mid-20s, like 23 miles or something. If you walked every aisle, every which way. I don't know. That could be. We don't have TQ here to fact check me, but
I didn't know I was starting my marathon training. So
that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Not SEMA Fest next year. They're going to have the SEMA,
Right. Yeah.
SEMA.
That would be pretty cool. Start it in the morning. You get who wants to sign up for the SEMA marathon? They sort of run all the aisles.
Watch people running through the aisles. That won't cause chaos at all.
No. I think it's great. It'd probably be an early morning thing.
So
people are pretty healthy.
Tell us like kind of how long you've been with Milwaukee, kind of how you fell into this industry.
Yeah, so I've been with Milwaukee Tool for over 7 years now.
Right.
I do product management. I manage our M18, M12, and MX Fuel batteries. So our team is really focused on spending time, boots on the ground, with those users, with those automotive technicians, to learn what's working, what's not working, what are the user needs, what do they like, what do they not like, and figure out how we can deliver best-in-class batteries for our systems and for our users.
It's one of the things we just talked about with Nick too, and we've experienced this, I think, firsthand at the shop, is how much you guys rely on the information from the end user. You're not bringing your product in and saying, here you go, here's what we got for you. You're like, how does this work? How's the functionality? How's the battery life? In the environment that you're in, how does it react to corrosion, things like that? You guys are so innovative in getting into the dirt with the guys that are using this at the end of the day.
Yeah, many companies take the approach, we're gonna scour online, we're gonna get this data through surveys, whatever it may be, and that's not our approach. Our approach is us as product managers, even our engineers, boots on the ground, talk to the users, understand what's working, see what they're doing, not just talk to them, but also see the jobs that they're doing, the applications, and try to identify those opportunities. And I think that is what sets us apart.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree. And we've seen some, even just in the last few years, some changes in the battery line from, I remember, when did you guys come out with the chemical resistant?
Yeah, so the chemical resistant battery was in 2021.
Okay, I do remember that.
And that was the 5.0 resistant. And we made a switch to transition all our fastening products, all our compacts, mid-torque, high-torque impact wrenches, to be kitted with that battery. And that's primarily because impact wrenches are used in environments with oils, greases, and solvents. And we identified late in 2010s that many of the users that we work with, they're in automotive environments, they're in industrial environments, they're using chemicals like carb cleaner, brake cleaner.
All the time, to clean everything.
Clean everything.
Our hands, our tools.
Yeah, and their batteries.
Yep.
Sometimes they'd be spraying these chemicals on their batteries to clean them. Yeah. And we realized, hey, that's actually degrading the plastics of batteries. And we decided we needed to add this feature to our packs and our premium batteries to ensure that we're protecting that user's investment. So we did it with the 5.0 resistant battery. We did it with their M12 high output batteries in 2022. And now all our Forge batteries, starting with the 6.0 last year, and now our Red Lithium Forge XC8.0 and HD12.0 batteries are all going to have that resistant feature.
That's awesome. That was a big, I remember we made the switch in the late 2010s to all Milwaukee, and we were trying to get away from basically becoming an airless shop. And I was talking to a contractor buddy of mine, because that was when we were like, I was wondering why we were having issues with batteries, and we'd send them in. You guys would usually even warranty some of those,
Yep.
And you took great care of us. But I just remember telling Tony, I was like, Tony, do you guys have issues with batteries? He's like, dude, no, we've never, like, in construction environment where it's, it's sawdust. You don't have,
that's just vibration, drops.
Right.
Different environments and different needs.
It is wild how it made such an impact, but then how quickly you guys were able to pivot, get that out of there and fix it all. So the new Forge batteries, like let's jump into it, because I've had the pleasure since Pipeline of using them a little bit, and I can't swear today. So.
Not on this
holy
show, sir.
Smokes.
Holy wow.
That's the kind of excitement it brings.
Yeah, it was wild. So tell me a little bit about them.
Yeah, so we introduced Red Lithium Forge last year at our Pipeline event. And Red Lithium Forge, think of it as our top tier of batteries. We introduced it in M18 and MX Fuel, and we started with the XC60. So when I think of Red Lithium Forge, I think of it almost like a good, better, best model. We have our Red Lithium batteries. Everyone has the M18 Red Lithium XC50 as their bread and butter battery, kitted with the majority of our tools. High output we launched about 5 to 6 years ago, and that was delivering 50% more power, running cooler. And now, last year, we introduced Red Lithium Forge. I think it's a good, better, best. And Red Lithium Forge batteries, their promise is delivering the most power, the fastest charging, and the longest life of any of our M18 batteries. And so we launched that with the 6.0. This battery was able to deliver the power of our old high output HD12.0, which is about the size of the Forge 12.0 at that time. So this battery was able to deliver as much power as that battery, but be 30% smaller, 40% lighter. And in addition to that, we launched it with this M18 dual-day supercharger, which was our most powerful charger. Still today is our most powerful M18 charger ever. And when you pair that battery with this charger, you got a 15-minute supercharge to 80%. To put that in perspective, that's taking our fully charged XC50 battery, and you get that in just 15 minutes of charging that 6.0.
I see.
In addition, longest life, that promise of getting the user, protecting their investment. And when we say longest life, we're not just talking about pure cycles, which you are going to get longer cycle life, but it's also about added durability. We talked about that resistant housing that we're adding to the packs, upgrading the pack construction, improving the electronics to keep those thermals down. All those to ensure that that pack can survive vibration, drops, ingress, a patented ingress coating within that pack that's protecting it from water, dirt, dust, debris. All those aspects roll up to the longest life promise.
Well, because and I mean, I'm no battery expert, but my understanding is that heat is the #1 killer of all things, because it allows it, the more heat you get, the less vibration, like everything else degrades.
Yes, yeah, and with heat, you're absolutely right. Any way we can fight that battle against thermals and keep those batteries cooler is going to be advantageous in terms of better performance and also longer life. So that all starts with the cell. With Red Lithium Forge, we're introducing new cell technologies. We introduced the pouch cell technology with the Forge XC6. It was our first pouch cell battery. But Red Lithium Forge is not just a single cell technology. It's not just pouch. It's multiple new cell technologies. And we don't really want Forge to be tied to a single cell tech. Pretty much, if we identify any new cell technology that we think is best for the user, we're going to put it in Forge first, because those are our top tier batteries.
Absolutely.
So with the 8,
can you explain to me? Sorry to interrupt, but when you say pouch cell, can you explain for me who spins wrenches what that means?
Absolutely.
It just puts it in and it works. And
right. I
don't know. There's
great.
a little magic man in there, just making sure.
Yeah. So from a user-facing side, we want to make sure that's the experience. You put it in and it works.
Right.
On the back end, the technology with the cells. Historically, since about 2005, the most common cell technology used for power tools is cylindrical cell lithium-ion technology, and you may recognize those as just like little steel can.
Yep.
And you've got rows of those little steel cans in our batteries. pouch cell is really just a different form factor, different manufacturing process. It actually gets rid of the steel can, and it's actually quite literally an aluminum pouch that holds the lithium ion and all the different chemicals within it. And that different form factor actually allows it to deliver higher power, stay cooler, and also faster charging capability.
More like a cell phone battery, kind of.
Yeah, very similar to a cell phone.
I broke an
battery.
iPhone once, and
and
had to figure out what was going on in there.
Intentionally or accidentally?
Oh, it just kind of worked out. That way I got to see what was going on after
Fair
that.
enough.
I was like, well, if I always wanted
Dual
to
purpose.
know.
It's dual purpose.
Curiosity killed the phone.
That's right.
Really?
Yep, exactly. At least finished it off.
Science.
But yeah, that was the pouch cell battery that we introduced
Thank you for that,
Yeah. And this year, we're introducing tabless cell technology. And that is the technology that's in the 8.0 and 12.0. So we actually introduced tabless and pouch at the same time last year. That tabless cell technology was in our MX Forge 8.0 and 12.0 batteries. We're now bringing that technology from MX Fuel to M18. So these tabless cells are actually taking a page from the old book of the cylindrical cell, going back to that cylindrical cell can, but changing that manufacturing process with it. So the best way I can explain this is it's like being at a sporting event at a stadium. A traditional cylindrical cell, imagine that as a sporting event with 2 exits. Show's over, everyone's rushing to get out of SEMA, and there's only 2 exits to get out of SEMA, and they're crowding around that exit. Only a certain amount of people can get out, and what that means is it's a slower rate of people or power, and it's building up a lot of heat at those exits. That's like a normal cell.
Yeah.
When you go to a tabless cell, you're pretty much creating a show with multiple exits, hundreds of exits. And now that people are coming out of that stadium much faster, you're able to deliver more power and run cooler because you're not backing up. And that technology allows the tablet cell and the pouch cell both to deliver that power and thermals.
See, that really helped me as somebody who understands sports analogies. I'm a little worried about you over there. So a stadium is where they play.
Got it. All right.
There's a field or a court of some sort, and then the people come. All right.
No, I got it. You plug it in and it works.
Exactly. There you go. That's the takeaway.
I'll make a diagram after the show.
We've been talking a lot about thermals, heat, making things run cooler, and I can't help but see the word cool on the battery and on this charger. Cool cycle. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so when we introduced the 8.0 and 12.0 batteries for M18, one of the things users are going to notice right away is that it's got Cool Cycle technology pretty much branded right at the top of those batteries. And it also coincides with the Cool Cycle branding we have in the charger. What you'll notice is that there's venting that's built in to those batteries at the top.
Yeah.
Vent in the top and also through the bottom of the pack. And that venting, when paired with this charger, actually allows the charger it has 2 dedicated fans, one for each bay, and it's actually pushing cold air through the pack and pushing that hot air out of the battery. And there's 3 benefits for this. When you have that battery on that tool, let's say you're using some high demand tools like a high torque impact wrench or a large angle grinder, those packs might actually overheat before they actually go empty.
Right.
And when they overheat and you put it on a charger, most chargers typically have to cool down before it actually can start charging. So when you put that hot battery on a supercharger, that Cool Cycle technology is going to instantly cool it, which is going to bring the temperature down. You're going to charge it faster. That battery is going to come off the charger cooler, which means when you put it back on that high torque impact wrench or that grinder, you're going to get more runtime. And third, you're keeping the electronics in the cell cooler, so you're going to get the longer life for that battery. So that is a threefold.
I heard like for a hot battery, when the lights still flash when it gets hot. Is that still the thing?
You get the alternating lights. So if you get 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 alternating back and forth, that's telling you you've got an overheated battery.
Yep, I've definitely been down that road with the angle grinder.
Yeah.
But I had heard, and maybe this is at pipeline, and correct me if I'm wrong, but 90 seconds. Within 90 seconds from an overheated battery, it's starting to do the charge.
Yes, within 90 seconds or less. Sometimes it can be instantaneous depending on how hot it was. A Forge battery is going to start charging within 90 seconds or less. That can take up to 15 minutes with a non-Cool Cycle capable battery or any other competitive battery that doesn't have that active cool.
So cool.
The other thing I'll say is that active cooling is not new in the industry, but we actually have the most aggressive venting in the industry for that active cooling. And so, many technicians we were talking to yesterday were like, well, if you've got all this venting, aren't you concerned about water, dirt, dust, debris getting into those vents? And we actually had to take that into consideration. So we have a patented ingress coating that we applied to the entirety of the battery within the housing. So that core, the cells, the electronics, everything has a patented coating to it. And that coating, we have confidence, is resistant to water, dirt, dust, debris. That's what allowed us to be able to do Cool Cycle technology better than anyone else. else.
That's awesome.
You know what else is cool? The fact that you remembered the 90-second statement from Pipeline, considering it was Pipeline.
Mission accomplished.
That's right. Well,
there was no notes. That just somehow that crawled right in there and just.
Well, I think again, and I brought it up on the last podcast we did. I have a passion for innovation, as do you guys, and so a lot of those things that I feel like are truly game changers, and also as a shop owner, I want my guys to be super efficient. I've been hung up on burning too many batteries, overheating them, and not having enough charged or whatever. So it's a way to keep everybody making money and keep the shop rolling, so we can spend more time doing things that we enjoy.
Yeah, productivity is the name of the game. And more time saved, or more time spent on the job and less waiting means more money in your pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's exactly the goal of Red Lithium Forge.
Awesome.
Learned so much today. Zafir, thank you so much for all the insight and information, and I mean, really, to get back to kind of how it started, it's getting in the dirt with the technicians, getting in there and making sure they are efficient, so shop owners like Phil can, again, keep the ball rolling, keep the cars going in and out. No, it's a technology that's revolutionized how the shop runs.
Absolutely.
Right now. So.
Yeah, and this is just the beginning of the Red Lithium Forge lineup. We're going to continuously invest in this tier of batteries, but also take this technology and ensure that Red Lithium High Output and Red Lithium are also getting upgrades as well. So there's a lot more coming down the road, and we use Red Lithium Forge as a proving ground to really showcase the best of the best and proliferate that to the system. And most importantly, making sure that the technicians out there understand if it says Red Lithium Forge, it's still fully backwards and forwards compatible with the entire M18 system. 275 plus tools that are going to work with our most powerful M18 battery we've ever made.
When a tool is only as good as the battery that powers it.
Exactly.
And you guys are never done. I mean, I think we learned that just over the course of the process. It's not, here you go, here it is, we're done working on it.
Yeah.
There's always the next innovation, there's always the next step. As soon as this comes out, it's back into the lab again and working on what's next.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, enjoy the rest of SEMA.
Thank you.
Vegas, baby. Well. It'll be just fine. You'll be home in about 4 days.
I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of the show's got to offer.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, so much. It is we're live from Milwaukee Tool at SEMA 2024.